Oklahoma has 2,107 flood control dams, the most in the nation. This $2 billion public infrastructure to protect Oklahomans is made possible through a partnership between the USDA Natural Resources Conservation Service, the Oklahoma Conservation Commission, and local conservation districts. Unlike large Corps of Engineer dams, such as those in the Grand River Watershed, Oklahoma's flood control dams are smaller and more numerous.
Well, we're currently here at Lake McMurtry in Payne County, and it's on Stillwater Creek, and it's part of the entire Stillwater Creek Watershed project. And although this is a beautiful lake, it has wonderful benefits, provides $1.2 million in benefits to Payne County, also supplies water to the city of Perry and is a backup water supply to Stillwater. It only works in the system. Within this watershed there are 33 flood control structures, both within Payne County and Noble County, and they all together provide protection and reduce the amount of flow in Stillwater Creek, which protects the town of Stillwater and the county. There are over 3,400 homes just within the Stillwater area that are protected by this structure, and it provides probably $2.2 million in total benefit for the entire watershed project per year. So if Lake McMurtry's dam wasn't here holding back this water, there would be flooding within commercial developments on the west side of Stillwater. There would be homes underwater, roads and bridges that would be washed out. Many of the people in Oklahoma don't even realize the over 2,000 flood control dams that we have here in our state. They're often referred to as silent sentinels because they sit out mostly in the countryside, a lot of times in rural areas, and people don't realize that they're there. They hold back these flood control waters, but just as you would have with a road or a bridge or an interstate, they do require maintenance and to be taken care of. You wouldn't build a bridge across a river and never go back and revisit it again, never make any repairs, never do any maintenance or inspect it. So these dams do require regular care and inspection. The way that the flood control system works is that all of these flood control dams have a local sponsor, and in most cases that's the local conservation district. Some conservation districts have over 150 flood control dams that they're the sponsor of, and being a sponsor requires you to inspect those on a yearly basis and perform operation and maintenance, and that requires more resources than your local conservation district really has. So that requires both state and federal funds and a continuing state appropriation. So for the protection that these provide, it requires the state to continually supply resources to those conservation districts. We estimate on the current needs to be $8.7 million to do ongoing operation and maintenance, which is about $4,100 per dam. The local conservation districts have employees that will go out and inspect those dams. The state provides technical assistance. We also have watershed technicians who have equipment, skid steer loaders, trucks and trailers, siphons and pumps that can be utilized in conjunction with conservation districts to perform operation and maintenance on these dams. The flood control program in Oklahoma really got up to its height in the 1960s and 70s when we were completing over 100 dams a year. In fact, 50 years ago in 1966 we completed over 150 dams in a single year, which will be about one dam every other day. I think being involved with the watershed program provides me personally with a lot of satisfaction, knowing that the amount of damage that's prevented from these major rain events. When you think back in history and you look back at the suffering that my family and other Oklahomans have experienced, just the frustration with the loss of private property, with losing your home, with losing the ability to travel back and forth to town, or the commerce that's lost, all of those things that mount up and provide stress in people's lives and suffering, to know that we help to prevent that provides a lot of satisfaction to myself and to all conservation district directors and employees. While the primary benefit of most of these dams is flood control, many of them have multiple uses. Many of them were designed that way, and some have been rehabilitated to provide multiple use. So you have recreation and wildlife benefits, fishing, boating, swimming, and then 42 of the structures also provide water supply sources for towns all across Oklahoma. I think one of the greatest benefits is that Oklahomans can rest assured that there are people out there that are taking care of these dams, that take a personal responsibility for making sure that they're functioning correctly, so that they can sleep at night safely, knowing that these structures are going to work correctly, that someone is doing what it takes to keep them in shape and protecting them.